Now, I know you said you don't want to force down the price of existing houses. You want to reduce the cost, increase the affordability of new builds, but the GST cut at the front end driving down development fees to make it more affordable while driving up wages. So buying power, it makes it easier to own a home. So like a simple measure of that is the price to income ratio. And over the last 20 years, that has just gotten impossibly unbearable in a lot of big markets. Like 20 years ago in Toronto, it was 5 to 6 times an average salary. Now it's like 11 to 12. What sort of a ratio are you aiming for with this policy? What's an affordability standard for
it comes back into several things. Now you've asked a very complicated question and you've layered it down, and the bottom line is for Canadians, can I get a mortgage? Can I afford the mortgage payments and I can buy the house? So there's multiple factors that have to happen here. One is we've got to get take-home pay up for Canadians. The first easiest way to do that is to cut taxes now. We're cutting that middle-class tax cut. That's why that's the first thing we're doing. Cut taxes on first-time home buyers, younger Canadians. They're buying a new home, saving up to $50,000. In fact, in some markets, Toronto would be an example, more than $50,000 off the price of a home. That's all, the big money, obviously. Then we need to get supply up in order to get that. At the same time, and we have a very ambitious plan, you'll see that roll out more into the fall setting of Parliament for that to roll out, to get supply up, double the rate of home building, all while growing the economy, because what we need to see is incomes grow.
I bought my first house at 28. So if you're a 28-year-old now looking to buy a home, it's tough depending on where you are. Like, how old will you be before it gets to that affordability level?
Look, there is no, here's an insight, there's no monolithic, there's different types of houses, different types of housing markets. It's a segmented market. We have to build those houses more cheaply, and there's several ways to do that. Again, cutting GST on housing, that's one way to make the house more cheaper. The second thing is to cut development charges. So we committed in the platform, we will cut development charges in half. Third way you do it is you change how you build houses. You can do it with prefab, modular, you can do it using Canadian timber, Canadian technology. That's what we want to catalyze. Last point, David. We're going to focus first and foremost on deeply affordable housing. We have a homelessness problem in this country. I think everybody knows it. There's multiple causes. One way to address it is actually to have deeply affordable housing. We're going to focus in on that. That is a role for government. It's a role for the federal government to catalyze and then move out across the spectrum to affordable housing. Mainstream affordable housing is going to drive.
But this is a medium term. This is like 5, 7, 8 years. Is that what we're talking about?
We're more ambitious than that, but you have years, not weeks.